Hi guys. I'm making this video in response to a message that I received earlier today from someone who was asking about essentially combining traditions and, to paraphrase, whether or not that's okay, whether or not labels are too confining, that sort of thing. I think you guys get the idea. Just a lot of you have videos on that, especially with regard to the combination between Wicca and Christianity. And I just wanted to throw my 2 cents into the pot. Um, for me, this is really a non-issue, just because religion is this artificially constructed category, as far as I can tell. We really don't have an established definition for what it is. It's this thing that we talk about that helps us to understand certain beliefs and practices tied to various cultures and um, individual upbringings and social perspectives and that sort of thing. And that's all well and good. But ultimately, the concept of religion is, it's not inherent, it's not essential. There's nothing about it that's really tangible and inflexible. Just to kind of give an example, and I'd like to preface this by saying that I'm not I'm not a scholar of Asia at to any length, but just to give you an example, the concept of religion doesn't or didn't exist in certain parts of Asia until European colonialism, basically. Westerners like to ask each other, oh, well, what's your religion? And we expect this answer that we want people to fit into boxes. We've got these ontological categories, and that's how we make sense of things. And we don't like it when people check more than one box. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of other people across the globe have been checking multiple boxes since the dawn of history. And the idea that you can only have one religion and subscribe to only one god or one tradition is relatively recent, and it's largely limited to the West. So in China, for example, it's perfectly normal to practice a combination of Buddhism and Taoism and Confucianism, etc. And that's not even something that most people bat an eye at, because it's just not a question. So whether or not someone can be both a Christian and a Wiccan, I don't know. I mean, valid arguments exist in both sides, but the way I don't care personally. I see it as kind of arbitrary. I mean, I don't believe that you can combine particular traditions in all circumstances. In the particular brand of Wicca that I practice, for example, we invoke very specific gods, and Jesus isn't one of them, and Jesus will never be one of them, and that's fine. That might not be the case for you or for anyone else. So, but when I leave Circle and I go home, if I want to go to church and if I want to pray to Jesus or whatever, that doesn't have anything to do with my actions when I'm in Circle. So that's just something that isn't a problem for me. Okay, I'm not a Christian. That's just an example. So if someone lives their life that way and they're productive and happy and spiritually satisfied, then frankly, I don't see what the problem is. I'm uncomfortable with religious hyphenates like Christo-pagan or Christian witch or whatever, just because I still see them as distinct traditions, but I don't have a problem with you being a full practitioner of both of them, being both a witch and a Christian, being both a Buddhist and a Taoist and a Christian and whatever. I think individual religions construct their own boundaries, and cultures construct their own boundaries. and individuals construct their own boundaries, and I really think it's arbitrary. So this whole argument about whether or not it's okay for someone to call themselves a Christo-pagan, which I think is kind of a funny word, whether or not that's okay, I really don't think that a strong argument can be. I just don't think you can assert yourself to the point where you're ever going to convince anyone else or do anything other than maybe make your head hurt and make other people angry. And this isn't even just about me saying that religion is personal and it's nobody's business. And of course, those things are true, but it has more to do with the idea that religion is an artificial construct. And how we want to talk about it and how we want to practice it is really, frankly, it's arbitrary and it's dependent on the individual. So if you want to cast circle and talk to Jesus and, believe in immateriality and strive towards nirvana, then fine. So anyway, that's just my thoughts on it. So, and as always, I would welcome yours, but I don't have a problem. And that's not to say that, of course, there are contradictions. I mean, if you want to take the Bible literally, then yes, there's a problem with doing X, Y, and Z and also being a Christian. But the fact of the matter is that we've kind of been doing the whole cafeteria religion thing for forever, and it's hardly a new thing that people pick and choose. And the fact of the matter is that all religion, I think, is inherently eclectic. So, especially in the United States, where individualism is this highly prized thing, and none of us really like being told what to do or what to believe. So, I think it's just time we kind of called a spade and just openly embraced it, because it's not an innovation. We've been doing it for ages. So, anyway, have a good night.